Nature never improvises. It designs perfect biological machines, forged in the anvil of relentless evolution and extreme survival. Often, those who manage these majestic creatures underestimate the profound anatomical engineering silently hidden beneath their dense feathers and coats. Today we will not talk about the basics, about the daily water or feed supply, but about those complex hidden mechanisms that allow our birds and mammals to thrive in adverse scenarios where other native species would inevitably perish. We will delve into the fascinating world of adaptive biology and the most amazing reproductive strategies operating in our own facilities. We will unlock in detail the 12 most incredible biological secrets of 4 fundamental species: the imposing goose, the resilient duck, the prolific quail, and the strategic rabbit. These fascinating facts seem taken straight out of science fiction, but they have a direct, tangible, and overwhelming impact on maximum commercial profitability. Understanding this hidden science in detail marks the definitive difference between a simple caretaker and a true elite expert. Get ready to master your craft today. Let's begin. We'll start this journey with the true warrior of the extreme cold and relentless guardian of the farm, the goose. This formidable waterfowl has perfected its body over thousands of years to withstand punishing climates, turning its own plumage into a thermal marvel and its behavior into an impenetrable reproductive fortress. Number 1. Nature's sub-zero armor, the goose down bunker. The goose has a natural technology to conserve heat that surpasses any synthetic coat, allowing it to withstand bone-chilling sub-zero temperatures as low as -22 degrees Fahrenheit without freezing. It isn't just thick plumage, it's a well-thought-out layered system, designed for thermal efficiency. On the outside, it has hard feathers that interlock tightly like roof tiles so freezing water can't pass through. And inside, it hides a fine, dense down. Each cluster has microscopic filaments that trap the hot air generated by the bird, forming a barrier that works like a vacuum thermos. This means the bird doesn't burn much valuable feed energy trying to stay warm during winter storms. As breeders, if we want this armor to work flawlessly, we must ensure uninterrupted access to clean ponds all year round. The goose needs to bathe even in the dead of winter to stimulate the gland located near its tail and spread that natural oil that waterproofs its outer feathers. If we neglect this crucial biological need, freezing water will inevitably penetrate its skin and the cold will rapidly wipe out our breeding flock. Number 2. Unwavering genetic fidelity, the lifelong monogamous bond. Many farm birds are raised with the commercial idea that a single male will cover dozens of females without forming any real social attachment, but geese are fundamentally different. They actively choose their specific mate for life, and this changes how they function inside. They don't do it out of pure romance, it's a brutal strategy of nature to guarantee highly fertile eggs and to jointly defend the nest from prowling predators. When a strong goose and a healthy female mutually choose each other, they synchronize their biological cycles and hormones for the entire breeding season. If we force them apart to cross a different genetics, we cause them tremendous psychological stress that manifests physically. That massive cortisol spike depresses their system so much that the female's ovulation stops entirely and the male loses all interest in reproducing. Because of this undeniable reality, any strategic change you want to make in your genetic lines must be done long before their complex courtship rituals begin in the fall, otherwise you will see your fertile egg rate plummet to 0 in the spring. Number 3. Most efficient living incubator, the thermoregulated brood patch. When the days start to lengthen announcing spring, natural sunlight triggers the production of prolactin in the female goose, the hormone that forcefully awakens her strong nesting instinct. This is when her belly area changes in an incredible way. She plucks those soft feathers from her belly herself to leave the skin bare, and that area quickly fills with numerous fine blood vessels. This localized zone is known as the brood patch, and is literally a highly efficient natural radiator. The dedicated female pumps hot blood straight to that bare skin to transfer a constant 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit to the developing eggs in the nest uninterruptedly. Additionally, that bare skin works as a highly sensitive thermal sensor that immediately warns her if the surrounding environment is too cold or too hot. What we must watch closely as farm managers is the overall tranquility around the established nests. If there are sudden loud noises or dogs barking nearby, the nesting goose gets severely spooked. That sudden fright causes the capillaries to contract violently in milliseconds, cutting off the vital heat supply and causing the embryos to die of cold silently. If you genuinely believed that geese were the highest point of biological adaptation on the farm, get ready to see what the undisputed master of biomechanics hides from plain sight, the duck. In their artificial wetlands, nature has created amazingly complex reproductive systems that ensure life spectacularly. Number 4. Impenetrable reproductive labyrinth, the intricate duck corkscrew system. The reproductive anatomy of the modern duck is the direct result of one of the wildest evolutionary pressures documented on a farm, ending in an impressive biomechanical mechanism of locks and fits. The dominant male develops a reproductive organ quite long for its overall body size, featuring a tight spiral shape in a clockwise direction, biologically designed to mate quickly even in unstable water. As a natural anatomical response to control who the definitive genetic father of her ducklings is, the female has created an internal maze-like path, but it twists strongly in the exact opposite direction. Furthermore, it has numerous small internal traps or blind pockets where the sperm of males she didn't accept end up permanently lost and without any possibility of fertilizing the viable egg. For us in our daily homesteader work, this highly friction-filled internal mechanics forces us to be extremely strict with the exact number of males we keep active in the breeding flock. If you keep too many male ducks constantly harassing the females, you will end up with severely injured breeders or facing serious internal lesions that will ruin valuable maternal lines. Number 5. Biological Reserve Bunker, the duck sperm storage. Having tremendous profitability in your elite duck lines doesn't depend on the male breeding the female every single day without rest, but on the amazing metabolic capacity the female duck has to securely store the male's genetic material inside her body. In the deep walls of her reproductive tract, the female has specialized cellular hiding places called sperm host glands. In this secure internal refuge, she secretes specific metabolic nutrients that manage to temporarily put the sperm to sleep biologically. Her body keeps them in a chemical pause where they spend zero energy, preserving them alive, very strong, and ready to fertilize for up to 14 long days. This is a massive operational advantage for the smart homesteader looking for maximum yield. Since knowing this natural reserve exists, you can systematically have your lead rooster visit different groups of females every 2 weeks. This practical way, you manage to spread that coveted premium genetics throughout your breeding facilities without ever physically exhausting your main bird. Number 6. Invisible Hydrophobic Armor, the thick, protective wax shield. Unlike standard backyard poultry that lay eggs in dry nests of wood shavings, modern ducks almost always prefer to nest permanently in the mud of farm ponds. That wet mud is full of aggressive bacterial loads that would rot a normal porous egg in a matter of hours. To prevent their future offspring from dying infected before hatching, the female duck's body has a vital biological defense. Right at the exact moment of the final pushing effort during oviposition, her shell gland smears a very thick layer of natural fats over the egg. Drying quickly in the nest, this becomes a protective wax film that seals all the microscopic pores of the calcium-rich shell, leaving it heavily armored against moisture and dangerous infections from the muddy pen. A terrible operational mistake that ruins many artificial incubations is aggressively washing these eggs by rubbing them with rough cloths to clean the mud off. If you scrub them, you strip away that valuable wax cuticle and open the door to lethal bacteria that will rot the duckling inside the incubator. Leaving behind the freezing and damp environment of majestic waterfowl, we must reduce our visual scale to enter the biological universe of a true accelerated production machine on the farm, the quail. This tiny avian gladiator has compressed an incredible survival arsenal into a compact body, operating at an incessant metabolic speed that fascinates everyone involved in daily farm management. Number 7. Chemical Fertility Seal, the Proctodeal Protective Foam. When observing the reproductive anatomy of a mature male quail, you will discover a hyperactive gland located above his cloaca secreting a peculiar bright white foam. This unique fluid from the Proctodeal gland isn't simple waste, but a complex biochemical cocktail designed as a sperm survival shield. This dense protein structure acts as a transport vehicle and chemical buffer that neutralizes the dangerous natural acidity inside the female's reproductive tract. It guarantees the genetic material survives the hostile internal environment and reaches the developing eggs with unsurpassed vitality. Furthermore, it works as a physiological plug preventing sperm from being expelled after the lightning-fast mating. As experienced managers, if we notice an obvious absence of this white foam when inspecting our breeder males in their pens, we must remove them immediately. The lack of this vital secretion clearly indicates a severe drop in testosterone, usually caused by a deficient lighting schedule. Ignoring this visual sign translates into gathering thousands of sterile eggs that will completely ruin your incubation cycle, wasting valuable time and commercial feed. Number 8. Thermal Printing Camouflage, the last-minute maculation. The unmistakable pattern of dark spots adorning the delicate shell of the quail egg isn't just a predetermined aesthetic decoration formed in her ovaries, but the astonishing result of a complex bioprinting process occurring in the final moments before laying. As the egg advances through the shell gland, highly specialized cellular tissues inject potent biological pigments called porphyrins directly onto the still wet cuticle. Acting exactly like an organic inkjet printer, the uterus firmly squeezes and quickly rotates the egg, spreading this dark dye in unique cryptographic patterns, serving as highly effective visual camouflage against predators. We, as dedicated managers, must obsessively monitor the overall quality and color saturation of these spots in our daily collection trays. An egg that suddenly appears excessively pale, chalky white, or completely lacking its characteristic porphyrin pattern is always the first visual indicator that our hard-working maternal line is suffering from an acute calcium deficit, hidden dehydration, or severe nighttime stress caused by predators roaming near the cages. Number 9. Embryonic Telecommunication Network, the pre-hatching acoustic click. One of the most fascinating biological secrets of these tiny game birds occurs in the pitch-black darkness of the artificial incubator, right when the fragile growing embryos are still hermetically trapped inside their solid calcium prison. Barely 48 hours before finally breaking the dense eggshell, the developing quail chicks initiate an astonishing group acoustic communication network, emitting thousands of audible microclicks and low-intensity sound frequencies that easily travel straight through the porous shells. This highly effective embryonic chat room represents a powerful evolutionary survival imperative specifically designed to metabolically synchronize the entire hatch. The stronger, more developed embryos intentionally accelerate the resting heart rates of their slightly delayed siblings through this constant acoustic stimulation, ensuring that hundreds of tiny individuals hatch simultaneously in an incredibly narrow time window. Because of this vital technical reason, when we perform the final transfer of our valuable eggs into the hatching baskets on lockdown day, we must never isolate a few eggs in silent corners of the machine. The uninterrupted physical and auditory contact between the eggs is the definitive biological switch that triggers the massive muscular impulse required for a synchronized general hatch, preventing late-stage losses. If the energetic quail represents avian speed in its purest biological state, our final great protagonist proudly holds the undisputed crown of unstoppable exponential multiplication within the productive mammals of the commercial operation. The rabbit is a true masterpiece of relentless reproductive engineering, internally equipped with unsurpassed emergency biological protocols and sophisticated gestation systems that directly challenge all conventional laws of animal breeding we generally know. Number 10. Tactile switch of life, the copulation-induced ovulation. The vast majority of mammalian livestock we routinely manage on our pastures depend on rigid estrus cycles programmed strictly by biological time, completely wasting valuable reproduction opportunities if the male isn't physically present at the exact right moment. However, the female rabbit has evolved to discard this inefficient passive waiting system, successfully developing a sophisticated on-demand activation mechanism known scientifically as induced ovulation. Her ovaries permanently remain on high red alert, fully packed with mature follicles ready to be released, but the actual journey of these coveted eggs down into the uterus strictly requires a mechanical stimulation at the cervix, directly during copulation with the male. This intense physical friction instantly sends a powerful neurological signal straight to her hypothalamus, sparking a shower of viable and highly fertile eggs exactly 10 hours following the reproductive encounter. Fully understanding this tactile switch means that, during our daily operational routine, we must never take the buck to the receptive doe's cage. She will fiercely defend her established territory, and the desired mating will be completely ineffective. We must always calmly take the doe to the buck's cage. Number 11. Relentless parallel factory, the double uterus and superfetation. Unlike the unified uterine structure we usually observe in other mammals of commercial interest on the farm, the female rabbit comes factory-equipped with an astonishing and totally independent double production system, possessing two massive uterine horns that communicate outward through two entirely separate cervixes. This impressive biological bifurcation not only allows her to securely house heavy, massive litters within a tightly reduced abdominal space, but it also opens the door to an incredible productive phenomenon known within elite breeding circles as superfetation. In wild scenarios with maximum availability of rich nutritional resources, a female who is already gestating advanced embryos could ovulate again and successfully fertilize a second litter located inside the adjacent empty uterine horn, effectively gestating two entirely different generations of kits simultaneously with different programmed birth dates. Although this anatomical marvel exists as a natural emergency protocol to boost wild populations rapidly, pushing your stock to these biological limits through staggered matings in our daily farm management is a catastrophic error that will exhaust the mother's calcium reserves and quickly lead her to a general organic collapse, ruining your best genetics permanently. Number 12. Emergency cellular recycling, the fetal resorption by acute stress. Wise nature has granted the easily frightened rabbit the ultimate survival and nutritional resource management mechanism against various imminent crises on the farm. If, during the early delicate stages of pregnancy, the sensitive mother detects a drastic drop in vital crude proteins within her daily formulated feed, perceives environmental temperatures soaring past 86 degrees Fahrenheit, or suffers a sustained level of pure terror provoked by the close presence of stalking predators, her brain will quickly make a cold and calculated biological decision. Instead of risking her own life, trying to nourish growing fetuses that will inevitably be born into a hostile environment, her endocrine system sharply suppresses progesterone output and activates an astonishing internal fetal resorption process. Her uterus literally dissolves the delicate embryos in full early development, efficiently reabsorbing every single living cell and valuable nutrient straight back into her own maternal bloodstream to strictly preserve her own existence. To bulletproof our valuable production against this devastating and silent internal cannibalism, strict climate stability and absolute peace throughout the entire rabbitry building are non-negotiable rules for our daily commercial operation. Even a minor disruption, like a barking dog, can trigger this biological abort switch. Nature always designs formidable organic machines capable of adapting to extreme scenarios within farm settings. Knowing these complex biological secrets governing the survival and performance of our valuable breeding animals is never a simple intellectual curiosity. It is the single most valuable technical tool you have at your disposal to optimize your general management, protect your daily economic investment, and skyrocket the profitability of your commercial operation toward higher levels every single working day. Understanding concepts like superfetation, Proctodeal gland functions, or induced ovulation completely transforms your daily vision. Now I am extremely interested in knowing more about your daily operational experiences in this exciting agricultural sector. Please leave me a clear comment explaining which of these anatomical mechanisms surprised you the most today. Your valuable expert opinion is absolutely indispensable to keep feeding our growing community of elite producers. If this information brought strategic knowledge to your vision, please like this video and subscribe to our main channel immediately. Mastering homestead science requires continuous study and total commitment to keep learning together as a united group to achieve excellence. To your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.